or B, it's what should be done. Let's get back to the tenure and the GM situation with Scott Perry and what we do. So since this current ownership took over in 2013, 29 of 30 NBA teams have made the playoffs multiple times. The Kings are the only team to make it just once. We're talking playoffs, not play-in. There have been 4 general managers, 8 head coaches, 9 if Doug Christie isn't retained in 12 years. That can only be described as chaos. It is not stability. And it's been well documented through the years, especially in the beginning. The Vex had some missteps publicly, the jazz band, Stauskas. You have the hiring of Vlade, the passing on Luka Doncic, which again, you can't pin all that on Vivek, of course. The pick, that is. Brandon Williams' voice within the organization. And then this latest debacle with Monty McNair, De'Aaron Fox. I know De'Aaron Fox is a very volatile subject amongst Kings fans, but under this tenure, something happened to make De'Aaron Fox want to go away. That's undeniable. Now, we can debate how much he shared in all of that. You have Domantas Sabonis that wants to talk about the team's future. You have DeMar DeRozan that wants to talk about the team's future. That's just what we know. Okay. So I'll repeat it again, and it'll be a topic over much of the summer when we talk about the Kings. You can't have, in my opinion, a legitimate long-form conversation about the future of the Sacramento Kings without talking about Vivek Ranadive. You can't do it. It's unethical. You cannot. You don't have to pin everything on him, but it's the elephant in the room, and I don't want it to be an elephant anymore. I don't want it to be personal. I don't want it to be insulting. I don't want to take away from what he's done. And if you're getting tired of me saying this, I'm going to say it every single time because I have to put those caveats on there. I think it's the right thing to put those caveats on there. You should never buy a beer in this town again. I don't know that he drinks beer, but the team isn't here without Vivek. But it's been 12 years. We're going on 13, and it's been a let's talk about Vivek Ranadive and his ownership. And I'm encouraging the rest of the media to do this. Let's stop insulting our fan base. Let's start talking about it like he's a player or a coach or a GM. I don't know when and where, and this is speaking from a guy who's been fired by an owner before. I don't know when and where this line showed up where ownership is off limits. Now, listen, we are the partner of the Sacramento Kings. I'm very aware of that partnership and super respectful. And to the Kings' credit, they have never won. They've been upset at some things I've said, and I've gotten a phone call, but this wasn't like, don't do that again. It was, hey, let's talk about this and how I think you were wrong, or maybe you didn't have all the information.
Right.
I will give them full credit. They have never said, say this, don't say that. That was wrong, don't ever. Never, ever, not even under the Maloofs, to be honest with you. That just happened all of a sudden. I don't like seeing the insults. I really don't like seeing the racism, and I see it. You don't have to go there. But I think you can say, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm picking a great time with my kid in college next year to come up with this idea. I think it's disingenuous if you feel that way to hold your tongue and not say, Vivek Ranadive, and let's call it out, has been a disaster from a basketball standpoint. I'm not talking about the off-court stuff, which has been wonderful. If he's anyone else in any other position, president, VP, general manager, point guard, assistant manager, any concessions, merchandise, he'd been fired at least 8 years ago. So let's talk about it. Now, I don't want to get into the whole topic of can you replace owners? Yes, you can replace owners. That's a whole different conversation. But let's just assume Vivek's going to own the team forever. He's got to step away, in my opinion, because he's got to step away from basketball ops. I need him to say, as a Kings fan, that I'm not going to. I will sign the checks. I would like to be consulted, and I want to know what's going on. I want to be aware of what's happening. I want to be a voice in the room. But when it's a voice, it's, do we have the money? Is that within the budget? You're financial. Your job is to sign checks and sit courtside and be a fan and do all the off-court stuff. Your job is not, I think this guy would be a good fit.
Yeah.
We should make that move. I like this. You're not qualified. I'm not qualified. You're not qualified. We are probably more qualified than he is to make bad. I'm saying that with no sense of irony whatsoever. Cover this team a lot longer. We have been ensconced in basketball our whole lives, and we're nowhere. And to be clear, we're nowhere near qualified to make inside basketball moves. So if we're not qualified, we're more qualified than he is qualified. No voice, no voice when it comes to personnel. That's it. That's not a hard. It might be a hard thing, but I don't think that's asking too much.
Yeah, it makes me wonder over the years that, we've heard of some things that maybe were more at his recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many times he's hit.
I think he has hit.
I think he has.
I'm
too.
sure he's hit.
And that probably.
Absolutely.
For someone that's been successful at anything, it's like, yeah, remember, I was the one that said this idea or this idea.
That's
or
right.
My business or here. Like I said, let's draft that guy.
That's
I
right.
said, let's hire this guy. I said, let's trade for that guy. And the ones that work, I wonder if that builds some other confidence along the way that even when there's missteps, because every GM, if they had full right to do all the moves, hits and misses too.
Yes. No,
So
I think you're 100% right. Guarantee you he's hit. And oh, by the way, the one thing people want to be pissed at Vivek the most at over the years is the one thing that's completely not true. He wanted to draft Luka Doncic. People really, and I get it, they really wanted to believe that he was the voice that wanted Marvin Bagley. Do you not remember the dinner picture? He wanted Luka Doncic. He was overruled, or at least was convinced other. I don't know how it went. He wanted him. That would have been a huge hit. There have been other things, huge hits.
So again, now I'm feeling like I'm defending him.
No, it's fair. Totally fair.
So if you're the owner and I will be supportive.
Yes.
I think my voice should be heard. They heard me. They didn't listen to me. That's okay. They picked someone else. I'll go. Let's go with Bagley.
Yes.
And then you went, that's one of the worst moves that's ever happened for this organization.
And I wanted the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to build a little confidence, a little more aggression.
Yeah. In you. And I'm trying to put me in you.
No,
there
totally.
It's easier to say, like, what are you doing? Write the checks, be supportive.
That's right.
Be there, but not there.
Right.
And let people do their job. It was like, and that one's the easiest.
Sure.
One. But I'm sure there's 5 others. I'm just guessing.
Right. Well, I would say this.
But there's also been misses. I'm not trying to say like, hey, everything he's done has been.
Sure. No, totally. Well, remember, what was it, a couple years ago, Whit Grusbeck, the former owner of the Boston Celtics, when that story came out about how he was a big voice in the room and involved? I don't either.
Yeah.
What about Peter Holt of the Spurs?
Right.
You go from
the Spurs have an owner.
And could you pick him out of the lineup? Could you, if I played his voice and it was one, and he had a 1 in 3 shot, you'd probably still get it wrong. The best, by the way, for all the stuff that went on with Seattle, what's his face? Clay Bennett. You heard anything from him? Anything. Nothing. Here's what you'd hear from Mark Cuban, Jeannie Buss at the best. So, yeah, it's easier to... Matt Ishbia. Exactly. Thank you. So, yeah, guess what, Jason? I say this with full confidence. And by the way, I apply this to a lot of our audience, people in our YouTube chat right now. If you and I were the general managers of the Sacramento Kings for the last 10 years, we would 100% have at least 1 to 3 to more really good moves, whether it's draft picks or whether it's trades. 100%. Doesn't mean we're a GM. Doesn't mean we're a GM.
Right.
Means we backed into doing something right. Yeehaw, I was right about that one. Doesn't make me a general manager. And by the way, Sam Presti's had some bad moves. He's had some bad picks. He's a GM because the body of work. And in my opinion, until it changes, Scott Perry era begins. We'll continue that. Why did he return? And also, how about a post-mortem final just to kind of underscore what's been going on the Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox. Well, What do we get for them now that it's all said and done with both of them? Where are we at right now with that? Where do those moves get us? We'll talk about it next.
Breaking